Here we are, right back at you. Hole-up project. You know why we call it the hole-up project? Because every time we go to do something, something's messed up. And it's amazing. So, why do it once when you can do it twice? And today we're going to do a diagnosis, do-si-do, on this transmission. But first, as I'm sure you saw maybe a week ago or so, someone right there,
me,
and something right there weren't coordinating together and ended up with a mishap, which we had to find ourselves a guy that could throw the lightning and control a stick of aluminum, and this is what we ended up with.
Yeah,
There she is.
that's what happens when your cheap Amazon tranny jack lets a bolt go, and then your tranny doesn't stay on top of it anymore.
That's right. So, during the interim, we had to make a little trip to the welder, fix this right up, and also, I think we found our leak while the guy was sitting there welding away. So, there's a thing that's called a lip seal. And the lips always go towards the pressure. What do you see here?
Old Paul Weagle was right.
Eagle-eye Paul. That look backwards to you?
Yeah, that was my fault. Now you see here, this is the old seal, which looks fairly similar on both sides. And this is what happens when you're not paying close enough attention and when you're trying to hammer out some work. So, you know, that's what happens.
Yep. So, we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead. Swap this seal out. Put it back together. And do an installation. What do you think?
And while we're doing that, we're gonna have the tunes rolling Saturday afternoon. And you guys have seen 3 tranny pulls on this car already, so you don't care to see this one again. Nailed it. Button? No, I handed it to you for nothing.
Perfect. I figured you'd do something like that. Oh no, folks, will she move or won't she move? The underside's dry. Tell you what, when you put that seal in there the correct way. Look at that. She moved. What a success story. A little bit of an exhaust lead. Idles perfectly. Oh, he's excited now. Look at him. She moves, folks. Unbelievable. From completely stuck to rolling. Oh, this joker. God dang. Got all the cars. What do you think?
Pretty excited it moved.
Uh-huh.
We're leaking gas though. All right, folks. Well, Saturday was successful, as you just seen. Bell housing all welded up, everything back together. I'm tripping on things. Everything went pretty good. One little snafu, and after thinking about it, my brother brought up a good point. He goes, what have we ever done with that coil on that car? Because when this thing sits and runs for a while and gets good and hot, it won't restart. And it's kind of been doing that, but what we did was we put a different style filter on it that has a return to help with the vapor lock, I guess, if you want to call it that. We dropped a ton of stuff in the carburetor, putting the hood on. So that was pretty cool. But for 25 bucks, I figured, you know what? Let's throw a different coil on it. And just so we know that that's in good shape. And then we will try to start it up again. I'd like to back it out and switch it with the truck, because I need to take this truck this weekend and the tires are way out of balance and they need rotated something fierce. And me being lazy, I don't feel like doing it on the ground, so I'd rather have it on the lift. And then the other thing that we need to do, once again, is this TV rod adjustment. I don't understand. I took it completely out, pulling the transmission this last time to make sure that it wouldn't get bent, and then put it back in, and it's the way that it's curved is hitting the bell housing. And I'd like to just find a different one to get some measurements off of, but you know, that's next to impossible. So we're just shooting in the dark, trying to get the thing bent to the correct position to where it's not hitting the bell housing and it's allowing the carburetor to fully open with the TV adjustment being correct. And that's kind of hard to do when you push on the gas pedal, the TV rod hits the bell housing. So let's go ahead and swap this coil over first, and then we will well, I've already recorded it many times of me trying to get that TV rod adjusted right, but let's start with the coil. Get that swapped, and then I'll probably work on the TV rod. 11:30 seconds. Oh, Madison's yelling at somebody already. That's pretty standard. Did I tell you guys that the roof at my house got hammered with hail, and I turned in the claim, and insurance depreciated the value by almost 50%. Well, I can't even say almost, by 50%. That's pretty outstanding of them, don't you think? I thought it was pretty nice, you know. Don't worry about us, we'll just pay our insurance every month, and if we need ya, don't be afraid to bend us over. Worst part about it is, for the last 10 years, I've been paying for a replacement policy, not an ACV policy, and they switched it last October, apparently. And I said, well, how did you notify us? Well, we sent out a letter. Oh, okay. All right. Throw our bolts back in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed your weekend. Today is Monday. And I tell you what, the weekends go by so fast. Especially when the family's up and all that. Next thing you know, it's Sunday, everybody's heading back home, and you're mentally preparing for another day in the workforce. And the grind. I have to travel this week. I'll be Des Moines Tuesday, Wednesday, and back Thursday. And then next week I'll be in Hammond, Indiana, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think. Okay. Get our coil hooked up. Listen to all the diesel trucks go by. Because, you know, every one of them that drives by here has to put it to the wood. Diesels. Okay, well. Should we try to fire it up? Let's see what it does. Better turn the key on. Turn the key on. Might have to do an adjustment on that choke too. It doesn't like to kick itself back and close. All right, here we go. Might not have any fuel. Or I hooked the coil up backwards, that could be it too. Alright, well I hooked my spark tester up. Number 1 wire. So we're sparking. Must not be getting any fuel. Throw a little in the carb and see if she'll pop off. This thing's got a lot of fuel problems, and I'm not understanding why, because it's got a new pump and everything on it. Definitely fuel. I don't think it's out of fuel. I just put 5 more gallons in it. But with that return hooked up, I don't know. It's interesting. She's just being stubborn. Like always. I might have to end up dropping that tank out again. Maybe we got something sucked back up. Thought I had that thing pretty clean. But, I mean, there's always the possibility. It's a super old tank, so... Yeah, she just runs flat out of fuel. Not getting fuel. It's irritating to say the least, and I'm sure that, you know, it'll probably always be this way. So anyway, you guys have seen me try to get this thing running 675,000 times as well, so... Yep, well, you know, whatever. It runs. Probably gonna have to pull the tank again. But, all in all, huge progress. Unfortunately, yeah, that transmission jack failed. It's been rectified. It is what it is. Took the tranny, got the bell housing fixed, all that stuff. Got it all back in. Finally got this thing to move for the first time in, I don't even know how many years. At least 15. So that's a huge win for us, and I'm hoping that here very, very soon we'll actually be able to take this car out and take it up the road, you know. We would have done that Saturday, but it stalled out in the parking lot after it sat there and ran for 15 minutes. And that's kind of what made us think that maybe we should throw a coil on it just to cover our bases with it. It's a cheap enough part. And then we never did get it to restart, so it hasn't started since then, which is why I brought the coil down to throw on. So anyway, this is going to be a fairly short video just because there was a lot of repeat work in it. We had done a lot of this stuff already on video, and nobody really needs to see all that stuff, you know, 6 times. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Like I said, I have to travel this week, so I'm not gonna get to record. So apologize for the short video, but hey, it's awesome. The car moves under its own power finally, and yeah, leaps and bounds of progress. So we always appreciate all you guys, comments and all that stuff. Like, give us a share, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next one.